Undefeated in its last 27 games, state football powerhouse Oaklawn Richards returns to Hancock Stadium as the defending 4A state champions. Tonight, in a live showdown of undefeated teams for the 4A title, the Morris Redskins, 13-0, battle the Bulldogs of Richards, who are also 13-0. Hello again, everybody. I'm Tom Stalker along with Bill Gorley, and this is a lip-smacking football matchup. Two undefeated teams, the only battle of undefeated teams for the state title this weekend. These are teams ranked number 1, number 2 all season long. They'll decide it where it's supposed to be, on the football field.
Tom, if this is a bowl game, you couldn't come up with a more ideal matchup than this football game. You have a lot of similarities. Both teams, of course, starting with 13-0, two veteran coaches, two teams that have won championships before, and you mentioned 27 games in a row for Richards, and then during that span of time, Morris is 24-1.
They both have outstanding quarterbacks. Sean Rutkowski has passed for over 2,000 yards for Oaklawn Richards. He's the man that makes them go offensively, while another coach's son, John Darlington, is the quarterback for Morris. He's passed for over 1,700 yards.
Well, those are the two people, of course, you have to go with because they're the ones that are going to pull the trigger, and it looks like it's going to be a tremendous matchup. I'm really excited about it. I don't know about you.
We talked about offense. It may be the team that plays the best defense that wins the 4A title this evening. They're the top two ranked teams in Class 4A, Oaklawn Richards and the Redskins of Morris. It ought to be a heck of a battle. Coming up, we'll have the introduction of the starting lineups right after this.
We're all right.
All right, headset check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hi. That
Hello.
was good. That felt good.
Hello. Right.
That's him. That's Gary Corhonen. Corhonen.
Yes, it is.
That felt good. Was it good for you too? Okay.
You can just help me for
Well, I don't see our
It's all right.
15. I don't have the other spotters here.
It's all right. You can do both.
A cold, windy night here at Hancock Stadium and the campus of Illinois State University in Bloomington. Normal, the wind gusting out of the south, excess of 20, at times over 25 miles an hour. It has been a factor through the games thus far. The other three titles that have been decided, it will be a factor this evening. A great matchup. Two undefeated teams. One of them, the defending state champs. The other, the pretender to the throne, as it were.
And tonight you've got two veteran coaches both making their 8th appearance in playoffs, and both teams have won state championships, so you couldn't ask for a more ideal matchup than that.
You see the win there. Let's go now for the introduction of the starting lineups and Stadium Public Address announcer Steve Adams.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the starting lineups for this state championship game in Class 4A, featuring the Morris Redskins and the Bulldogs of Oaklawn Richards. First, introducing the starting defensive lineup for Morris High School. Here is the head coach, Dan Darlington. At left end, number 39, Stuart Garisher. At left tackle, number 71, Mike Barkley. At right tackle, number 55, Pat Kneller. At right end, number 41, Todd nose guard, number 78, Jeremy Stump. At linebacker, number 33, Mike Nelson. At linebacker, number 44, Ben Price. At defensive back, number 24, Jason Bonomo. At defensive back, number 80, Ron Thomas. At defensive back, number 20, Eric Evenson. And at safety, number 6, Mike Wright. Those are the Redskins of Morris High School. And now, introducing the starting offensive lineup for Oaklawn Richards. First, the head coach, Gary Corhonen. At left end, number 46, John Newton. At left tackle, number 72, Mark McGreeny. At left guard, number 65, Brian Girk. At center, number 70, Bill Oldham. At right guard, 76, Ed El Suso. At right tackle, number 77, Hal Mady. At right end, 85, Mark Kennebrew. At quarterback, number 14, John Rikowski. At halfback, number 25, Arthur Russell. At flankerback, number 44, Tom Lyons. And the fullback is number 22, Stacy Flowers. Those are the Bulldogs of Oaklawn Richards. And now your officials for this 4A state championship.
All right, we're now getting set for one heck of a battle. Two undefeated teams. Let's take a look now where these two teams are located geographically. Oaklawn Richards from the South Suburban Chicago area. Morris just outside Joliet, down there on the Illinois River. Right there on Route 47. I went through it just last night. Boy, that town is fired up, ready to go. Our officials for this 4A championship game, as you take a look at our crew. They're from Peoria. Referee heading it up, Wilton Krotz, with John Doolin Jr., the umpire. Kirby Ham, the linesman. Jack Lurley, the line judge. Larry Williams as the back judge. Morris won the toss, and as you see, they're teeing it up to kick it off. They elected to take the win. The win is at their back. Ben Price in teeing it up to kick it off. Deep threat back there, John Newton. And all he's done this year is run 3 kickoffs back for touchdowns this year. One big department that perhaps Richard has an edge over Morris in these two very even teams as special teams.
Yes, and of course, Newton is a special player in Coach Corhonen's feelings.
Also back there, you saw Anthony Callaghan. He was number 10. He's to the near side. It goes right to Newton at the 16. He's going to try the side of the field. Still on his feet over the 30 and stopped at the 33-yard line. Take a look at the Richards offense. Two great receivers, John Newton and Tom Lyons. Each have 46 receptions, although Lyons is listed as a flanker. John Rutkowski, he is the field leader for that offense. Offensive line, the best interior offensive line that Gary Corhonen says he's had in 18 years at Richards, and that's saying something. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs of Richards at their 33. Early motion. Stop the play. Hal Mady, the right tackle, looked to pull out of his stance early.
And what you saw was Morris moving into a 60 defense with a 2 linebackers stepping up. And what happens is the center has to make a choice as to who to block, and the other linebacker is free. And I think they got a little excited when they saw that maneuver defensively.
Morris defense pitched 7 shutouts this year out of 13 opponents. Not a bad average.
Well, what we're looking at, Tom, is Richards is a talented offensive team, and Morris a big, rugged, blue-collar defensive team, and that's the way it's going to be played all evening.
It's 1st and 15 back at the Richards 28 after the illegal motion penalty. The toss goes to Arthur Russell, and he was strung out by that Morris defense and thrown for a loss back to the 21-yard line. The quarterback, Jason Bonomo, a 5'10 senior, was the first Redskin to greet him. Morris defense, a tough defense, their strength, while Richards feels their offense is their strength. Great defensive line, Garisher, Barkley, Kneller, who is really a good one on the offensive line. Then the linebackers, Nelson and Price are the anchors. Jeremy Stump, the nose guard, with a good experienced secondary, Bonomo, Thomas, Evenson with great speed, and the coach on the field, Mike Wright. Here's Arthur Russell, getting a good lead block from right tackle Hal Mady, number 77. He is stopped at the 28-yard line.
And what we've seen in these first 3 downs, Tom, is a lot of changing up defensively by Morris just to give Richards a different look on each down.
It brings up 3rd down and 14 yards to go. They run a 2-back tandem, an offset tandem. One of the running backs directly behind the quarterback. Rutkowski off the play action hit as he throws the football, and it skipped off the artificial surface into the arms of Ben Price. Putting the pressure on Rutkowski and getting to him was the left tackle Mike Bartley, a 5'10 junior. Defensive line for Morris, big and strong, and they can really run. Great speed.
And you'll see the pressure right here. Rutkowski just reverses out, and there's the pressure that we were talking about. And you've got 2 linebackers, Mike Nelson and Ben Price, who have to be as good a linebackers as you'll get in high school and as big as you'll get in high school.
You can do it all. John Newton's averaged 30 yards a punt on the year. He's playing against the wind. Didn't get it all. Gets a good bounce out of it up close to the midfield marker as the Bulldog defenders watch it stop cold there at the 50-yard line. And that's where Morris will take it over. 1st and 10. In fact, in my talks with Coach Gary Corhonen, he said that field position was going to be a big, big key in the game, and I don't think he was thinking about this kind of a win. John Darlington, the coach's son, is a junior, 6'1", 195. Nazar Bafteri, a hard-nosed running back, is their big running back, along with Evenson. And Mills, the fullback, with Wolwin and Wright are the ends. 1st and 10, Morris at the 50. That's Nazar Bafteri, a 5'9", 175-pound junior, one of the toughest guys on the team. He was stopped by left tackle Brian Girk, who will be having a tough chore this evening, facing that tough right guard Pat Kneller. Hurry up offense, no huddle for Morris. Mike Mills, the fullback, can't get outside as he is stopped at the 47 by cornerback Mike Russell.
Just by their personality, you have to say, Tom, that Morris almost looks like they relish playing the best ever football team, at least as Richards is being touted, and they're looking right now, they want to go right after him.
3rd and 7 from the Richards 47-yard line. As you take a look at the Morris offensive line, big physical, great quickness. Darlington with time. Stop shy of the 1st down, and a penalty marker thrown on the tackle. He had some room on the right side of the field, but came up about 3 yards shy of the 1st down sticks.
Let's look at that preliminary call right here, Tom.
The penalty from outer space, a below-the-waist block.
We'll get a chance to look at it right here. And, of course, that's a chop block, and it's illegal in high school. But
Darlington showed good mobility as he was flushed out of the pocket.
Well, you didn't get a real good shot there. It looked like it might have been to the backside a little bit more, but nevertheless, Morris is penalized.
Darlington on the year, nearly 1,700 yards of passing, 17 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. He's completed 51% of his passes. 3rd and 18 from his own 42. He's going long, looking for the speed burner down the sidelines, and it's overthrown, looking for Eric Evenson, who can run the 100 meters in 10.5, and that's picking him up and putting him down.
Well, what we want to see right now is John Rutkowski, of course, is throwing with the wind. We want to see how effective both of these quarterbacks, as strong as they are and as big as they are, whether they can throw against this wind.
You saw a good illustration there of Evenson's speed. He is outstanding, a good track man. 4th down, and back to punt is John Darlington, the quarterback, who averaged 31 yards a punt with the win. Taken by Newton, runs along the 23, trying to get outside, breaks one tackle, and is finally corralled at about the 33-yard line, where the Bulldogs of Richards will take it over. With 8:05 to go in the opening quarter, no score yet in this outstanding matchup of undefeated teams for the Class 4A title. Ranked number 1 and number 2. Richards has won 27 in a row. And in that stretch, Morris, as you pointed out in the pregame commentary, has lost only once.
Well, I think the big question coming into this football game is, since Morris doesn't have all the media hype that Richards has, is does Morris have that kind of speed to be able to stay with Richards' offense?
1st and 10 from the 33. Rutkowski pumped twice, let it fly, looking downfield for Mark Kennebrew, the tight end, a 6'4", 193-pound senior, and it was just beyond his reach. That brings up 2nd and 10 from the 33. There's Eric Evenson, who has got pretty good speed as well on the other side of the ball on cornerback. He'll likely go man-to-man on Newton, who they consider the #1 receiver for Richards. Big hole, Arthur Russell. He's got one man to beat. Mike Wright, the safety, corrals him down at the 17-yard line.
And Mike Wright is the defensive player that Morris looks to take and bail them out, and we just saw it right there. Mike Wright, 13 interceptions, and he catches Arthur Russell from behind.
60 yards on the running play for Arthur Russell. Russell, a 6'2" senior, has come into the ball game with 878 yards. He played through most of the season as a fullback. Went to the tailback when Kevin Jackson went down in the 8th game of the season, and he did so well when Jackson came back.
They alternated.
The coach said, hey, you might have lost your job full time. We'll play you back and forth on the 1st down play. They pick up a couple of yards with 7 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. The ball is at the 16. It's 2nd down and 9 yards to go. But also when they moved Russell from fullback to tailback, that gave Stacy Flowers an opportunity at fullback, and he has taken the opportunity and run with it. 2nd and 9. Slipping down, Kevin Jackson at the 16.
And he fumbled that ball, but he recovered it.
Kevin Jackson returned to action in the Joliet Catholic playoff game, and it looked like he did bobble it.
We'll get a chance.
Said, Bill.
Yeah, we'll get a chance right here. There's a handoff from Rutkowski. Actually didn't really get the ball handed to him the way you'd like to, and Kevin couldn't find a handle on it.
Officially no gain on the play. 3rd and 9 of the 16. The quick hitter for the fullback, and he has stopped Cole at the line of scrimmage. Stacy Flowers had no room to work with at all.
Well, I think we're going to find out just what color Morris is right here on the defense. If they're going to win this football game, we came in here saying that Richards had the offense, Morris had the defense, and this is where you're going to find out right now when you get inside the 20-yard line.
Mike Nelson, one of those big, mobile, steady linebackers, along with Ben Price, made the stop on the play. 4th and 8 at the 15. So an early 4th down against the wind. Richards is going to put it in play. Rutkowski into the end zone. Juggled, and it's incomplete. Looking at the end zone for John Newton. And he was hit hard the moment the ball touched his hand.
And that man that we talked about earlier, that safety, Mike Wright, we'll see the coverage right here.
There's the safety.
There's Mike Wright right now in there and making the play. Doing just what you like to have a defensive player going for the ball and taking a piece of the receiver with him.
Textbook job defensively. Got there the same time the ball did. And Morris takes it over on down. So the Morris defense holds up inside the 15-yard line despite that 60-yard run from scrimmage for Richards. First down play, running play, gets it up to about the 18-yard line. 5 minutes and 13 seconds left to go. Nazir Bafteri, a very emotional player. It's characterized by Coach Dan Darlington, a hard-nosed runner. He'd just as soon run over you than around you. He figures the straightest distance between 2 points is a straight line.
Well, when you have a name like Nazir, you really like to go after people.
On the run, Mike Mills, the second man through. He gets the first down up to the 27-yard line. Good blocking through the left side. Joe White, Alan Johnson. The tackle and guard for Morris. And this is a young offensive line for Morris. They've got 3 juniors starting this evening out of 5.
We got a chance to look at that matchup right there with the offensive and defensive line. And that was a little counter trap, and you saw it right there.
Another running play, banging the ball up the middle.
They're going fast. They want to go right after Richards. They don't want Richards to be able to make any changes on their calls. They're making fast calls in the huddle, and they're lining up right away. It's not a no huddle type of thing, but they're sure making those calls fast and getting up to the line and snapping the ball quickly.
That was Todd Farber, who was listed as a third-string fullback. Second down and 3. Morris really putting the ball into play quickly. They get the ball to the 39-yard line, and it's first down. First and 10 at the 39. Here is the Richards defense on the front line. Hal Mady, Brian Gerp, who's got to face Pat Cadeller, Dan Carroll, and Bill Oldham. The linebackers, Bichetti, Chris Copeland, a sophomore. Great story about him, along with Lyons and Russell, and a good hard-hitting secondary. Mike Mills, no room at all on the left side of the line as he is stopped for a gain of a yard at the 40-yard line to bring him second down and 9 yards to go. Big hit on the play by Dan Carroll, a 5'10", 184-pound senior.
There's just a little crossbuck right there, and instead of taking it inside the tackles, he decided to go outside, and of course then Richards cut him off.
Also Tom Lyons, number 44, the outside linebacker on the stop. Second and 9. Another quick running play to the right side of the line.
If they keep doing this time, we'll be out of here in another half an hour when they're running this offense.
That was Todd Farber once again. The fullbacks were listed as Mills and Coleman. Farber's number 3. It is third now. 7 yards to go at the 42-yard line. Now out of the shotgun, John Darlington, the junior quarterback, throws for the sideline, just got it away before he was hit, and it's incomplete as he was looking for left end Dave Wolwin. Wolwin not real fast, but is considered to have the best hands of the receiving corps. He had a big 59-yard touchdown reception against Peoria Central in the title game a year ago.
Here, we'll get a chance to see him, Darlington, get hit. Boy, he got crunched by a number of players, but he still got the ball off.
Darlington to kick it away, kicks it straight up the chute with the wind at his back, gets a good bounce as it rolls inside the 35, still going to the 30, aided by that wind. It's still rolling, still going, still going. Stay tuned, folks. And finally, a Richards player comes in and dives on the football, as diving on top of the football was Chris Miller. So 2:29 to go in the first quarter. No score in this matchup of undefeated teams for the 4A title, Morris and Richards.
Tongue is going to hang out.
Yeah, except for that hurry-up offense. It's killing me.
Our tongues are going to be hanging out.
Well, they're whooping it up on the Richards side of the field here at Hancock Stadium. 2:29 to go in the first quarter. No score as Richards has it 1st and 10 at its own 22. The fullback Flowers, the tailback is Russell, and they send Lyons and Newton wide to the left side. Nice cutback by Arthur Russell, but picked up 3 yards on the play to the 25-yard line.
And that was the same play. We'll see a little reverse out, and it's a little crossbuck action, and Arthur Russell tries to come back, and a good hit by Brandon Steele about made him go the splits there. Arthur Russell on the same play, he went 60 yards previously.
They spotted at the 26 where it's 2nd down and 6. Russell again rambles to the 30, stood up there and driven back by Evenson along with Ben Price. Darlington has had good linebackers at Morris. He's had 6 linebackers get full major scholarships to major colleges. In fact, he's got Ed Brady, who's now playing for the Cincinnati Bengals. So he knows. In fact, he was an old roverback, a roving linebacker in his days at the University of Illinois.
Well, when you have 2 linebackers, one that's 6'2", 200, and the other 6'3", 224, it's easy to see why people have gone there to recruit linebackers.
3rd and 2 at the 30. Flowers. Close to the 1st down. I don't think he got it. It'll be 4th down. He didn't get it. Mike Nelson, inside linebacker, the first to greet him, and kept him from the 1st down sticks. 2 undefeated football teams. And as each coach said, really a mirror image of each other, both with good, big physical offensive lines, great skilled people, and solid defenses.
And we might want to point out here is that Morris up front defensively averages 217 pounds. I don't know very many football teams anywhere that could average that on a high school level.
35 seconds to go in the first quarter. It is 4th and 1 at the 34, and Richards is going to gamble early, keeping Rutkowski, and apparently he's got the 1st down. That shows you some confidence in an offensive line.
Well, you have to admire Coach Corhonen. Gee whiz, he's looking at it real early here, going for that 1st down. Of course, with the wind being the factor that it is kicking, maybe that's the way you look at it. I don't know, Tom, but he sure is going after it real early here.
The ball is just outside the 32-yard line. They're going to measure it anyways. It looks like they have the 1st down, however. But we'll bring the chains across the way and make it official. With 23 seconds left in the first quarter, no score in the ball game. A big 60-yard run by Arthur Russell gave Richards an opportunity as they've got the 1st down.
By the length of the football.
But it was the Morris defense stopping them on a 4th down situation. Now here, Richards in their own territory converts a 4th down. And it's 1st and 10 at their own 32. Newton with 46 receptions on the year goes wide to the left. Lyons with 46 receptions on the year is a wingback on the left side. Backs in an I formation. Early motion. 2nd time tonight that right tackle Hal Mady has come out of his stance and cost him 5.
Interesting story on Hal Mady. He's a transfer student. He came here from New Mexico, comes to Richards and comes right into the lineup and really adds to that offensive line that they feel is so good.
And also gets introduced to Winter.
Exactly. Real quick.
I tell you what, these kind of conditions, though, really, once you start the game as a player, it really doesn't matter. It's the same on both sides. And heck, in fact, it's really been colder the last few days up in the Chicago area. As one of the Richards coach says, hey, the fields have been frozen. It's been tough to practice. Well, it looks like we have offsetting penalties. Offsides as they spotted up to the 37-yard line.
There's a picture of Coach Darlington talking to the officials.
Would have been nice to pick up the ruling on that one, because that one I thought looked to be going against Richards. We've reached the end of the first quarter, as after one quarter there's no score in the 4A championship game between the Morris Redskins and the Bulldogs of Oaklawn Richards.
Yes.
Use that cough switch.
I have. I did, but I'd still got it. Sorry.
It's all right.
All right.
What was that penalty? That one totally missed me. He's not.
Yes.
Oh, I got the disclaimer in hand.
Okay. When I do that, I can just push it down. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thanks.
Here we are high atop the roof here at Hancock Stadium on the campus of Illinois State University in Bloomington Normal. The broadcast rights to today's Class 4A State Football Championship have been granted to Sports Channel by the Illinois High School Association, and a reproduction of this event without the written consent of Sports Channel and the IHSA is prohibited. 1st and 5, an offsides penalty against the Redskins defense, and it's at the 37-yard line for the Bulldogs of Oakland Richards. Off the play action fake, Wiskowski. It's intercepted by Wright. He took it right off the shoulder pads of Mark Kennebrew. Wright with 14 interceptions on the year. He had one game against Geneva where he had 4 in that ball game alone. He's like a coach on the field, Darlington says, and he picked that one up. Looked like he got it off the shoulder pad.
And coming into this game, Morris, as a team, had 29 interceptions. We'll get a chance to see right here. Rutkowski back and kind of throwing a little bit of a quail, and there's his reaction. He's not too happy with the pass that he threw.
1st and 10, Morris at their own 49. They go with a full house backfield. A little toss back to the quarterback. Looking for Evenson against the wind, and it falls behind him incomplete. Covering on the play was Mike Russell, the quarterback. Also got some help downfield from the safety Chad Randon. Little handoff to Bapteri. Quickly back to Darlington. A little flea flicker. In fact, Morris not afraid of running those flea flickers. They ran one against Highland with Woolwen throwing to Evenson.
And then they throw it off of the full house backfield. That's unusual.
2nd and 10 from the 49. On the running play for Morris. They stop him at the 50-yard line. Dan Carroll on the tackle.
Giving Richards a lot of different looks. That was a little option look where they're trying to, I don't know if they wanted to pitch the ball or not, but Darlington certainly willing to run the ball if they can't pitch it.
3rd and 9 at the 50-yard line. Out of the shotgun, Darlington. Under pressure. Finds his man at the Richards 49-yard line. The pass complete to Nazar Bapteri. Chad Randick, defending on the play, made the stop. Not enough for the first down, however. They were shy by a good 6-7 yards. It'll bring up 4th down for the Morris Redskins. And
there's a little toss to Bapteri, and excellent coverage by Richards' defense.
4th down and 7.
Now, an interesting note. Darlington is a right-handed passer, but a left-footed kicker.
And he gets it away. He didn't drop back very deep either. Fair catch called for by Newton. He fumbled it. But the play was whistled dead immediately by the back judge.
Because his knee was down on the ground
when he touched the football.
That's right. Excellent call.
Heads-up call.
Official is right there, saw it. The knee immediately downs the football.
He made contact while he was down. We'll take a look, and it looks like we'll be able to see it on the replay. Exactly. John Newton alertly calling a fair catch. Not a high kick, but he was down, and he had contact with the ball. Not possession, however, but contact.
Right. And I think that's what the Morris fans are complaining about.
Well, we're having trouble hearing the referee's mic, and it looks like we're going to do it again. We're going to have a re-kick. Somebody lined up offsides. Inadvertent whistle. Inadvertent whistle was called. So we'll have a re-kick. 4th and 7. And Darlington gets another chance. So does Newton. He gets it away and does much better with this one. That goes off Newton's shoulder pad, and he alertly fell on top of it. It fell right at his feet, and then he was able to drop on the football.
In a ball game like this, as a coach, you're almost going to tell people just get away from the ball. Don't even try and catch it. Now you've got a left-footed punter, and it looks like somebody's going to block the ball. Here it is, Darlington back to punt.
And here's how to live dangerously. Watch what John Newton does. He actually,
over the shoulder.
yes, off the pad. Now that's a live ball.
He's not too happy. Coach Darlington not too happy with what's going on.
1st and 10, Richards from their 27. That is Arthur Russell sweeping to the sidelines and run out of bounds at the 32-yard line. He picks up 5 yards on the play. With 9:52 to go here in the second quarter, no score in this battle of the undefeateds. Number 1 ranked and defending champion Oaklawn Richards, while the Morris Redskins undefeated ranked number 2.
Another similarity that we talked about earlier, Tom, was the fact that both Richards and Morris are first half football teams. They like to get that score early and then sit back on it and play tough defense.
Got some numbers to shore that up too. 2nd and 5. Russell again hit hard at the line and driven back. First one to get to him, left end Stuart Garisher, along with Todd Farber, the right end. You talk about Richards in the first half. They've outscored their opponents 333 to 28. Morris in the first half has outscored their opposition in the opening 2 quarters 279 to 34. A couple of lopsided figures there.
Well, obviously 2 teams that like to get after people early and then play that good defense the way both of them know how.
At the 32-yard line, 3rd and 5 for the Bulldogs. Rutkowski over the middle. Kennebrew hangs on, takes a lick, takes a couple of licks, and has a first down out to the 45-yard line. He picks up 13 yards on the passing play.
Rutkowski actually threw to Kennebrew as a secondary receiver. He was looking to the wide side of the field and then came back to his tight end.
First completed pass thrown by Rutkowski. With the wind at his back. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at their own 45. 3-step drop, and it threw it right between Kennebrew and Lyons, and they both looked at each other.
And you have to say that John Rutkowski is getting excellent protection from his offensive line. And of course, John Rutkowski's dad coaches the offensive line and says, hey guys, you got to take care of that son of mine.
The big defensive duo, Mike Nelson and Ben Price. Well, the Redskins, that town had signs all over the place as I drove through on Route 47 last night. 2nd down and 10. In trouble, Rutkowski gets out of the pocket. Heads for the sidelines and has run out of bounds at his own 49. He picked up 4. It'll bring up 3rd and 6.
A good scramble by John Rutkowski.
Ben Price, the linebacker, made sure he was out of bounds. That stops the clock with 8:40 to go in the first half. A scoreless ball game. Redskins unable to wrap him up as he shot straight ahead out of the pocket and had room to run.
And so far, Morris has used 4 different defenses to be able to offset this Richards offense.
3rd and 6 for the Bulldogs. 2 wideouts to the right. A quick out screen to Tom Lyons. Ball is on the turf. And Morris has got it.
They're pretty excited over there, so it's obvious that they got the ball.
Lyons coughed it up on the tackle, and the Redskins defense takes it away for the 36th, make it the 37th time this year. They are now plus 16 on the year in takeaway giveaways.
That tells you an awful lot about that defensive football team. We'll get to see it right here. Now here's a real strong throw by John Rutkowski to Lyons. Lions taking the ball to the outside, and then comes in and coughs it up right there.
Penalty markers fly on the quick snap to the quarterback, Darlington. Looked like he bobbled the snap as well as the ball came out from under center. And somebody was in the neutral zone. Illegal procedure will be charged against. So it'll make it 1st and 15 for the Redskins of Morris. These two teams each in the state playoffs for the 8th time. Two outstanding programs, tradition-rich programs under long-term coaches. First and long, breaking through there for the Morris Redskins was Mike Wright.
And that was a little wingback trap where Mike Wright ran the inside. It's what you call a counter trap. Action going to the wide side, and then Mike Wright coming on the inside. We'll get a chance to see this at the field level right now. Looks like the quarterback's going to sprint out. He hands the ball inside to the wingback, Mike Wright.
Mike Wright picked up 9 yards on that play. He sets up second down and 6 yards to go at the Bulldog 48-yard line. Darlington rolls, throws from his heels, has Evenson open, and he dropped the football at the 30-yard line. He was all by his lonesome, and he didn't tuck it away.
Well, once again, that wind held the ball up, and Evenson was off balance when he tried to catch it. He was actually, his back was to the goal line, and he just couldn't get his balance to be able to catch the football. Maybe we'll get a chance to see it right here. There he is, going backwards, trying to catch the ball. I don't know, Tom, if you've ever tried to do that, but that's difficult to do.
John Newton was the quickest defender to get to him, but he found some room. Usually Richards likes to go man-to-man in the secondary. They've got the athletes to do it, but that time he found some room in the zone. 3rd down and 6. Underneath, the ball thrown to right. Breaks one tackle, nearly breaks a second. He gets the first down to the Richards 38-yard line. He picked up 10 yards on the play. So early for the Morris Redskins, Mike Wright's emerging as the big playmaker.
Here he is coming underneath the coverage, and Darlington was looking for him all the way. It was a pattern that they knew they were going to throw to him underneath the coverage.
He broke away from Lyons, but he didn't get away from Newton. Those are two tough guys to get away from.
They're probably the best athletes on Richmond football team.
1st and 10 from the 38. Through the left side, that's Mike Mills, the fullback, who in the playoff game against Highland had 117 yards and a touchdown. Good inside runner with good quickness. Picks up 3 yards on the play, setting up 2nd and 7.
Interesting thing on Mike Mills, you know, he had all those yards in that one game. Actually, totally, he has 478 yards. So he's a guy when it's 3rd and 1, you give it to that dirty-nosed fullback, and he gets that yard for you and gets that first down.
2nd and 7. Scoreless ball game in the 4A title game as Darlington rolls to his left. Flings one out. Evenson at the 20. And he is in for the touchdown. He is down for the end zone and made it.
Excellent call, and the official was right there to see it. He extended himself, put the ball over the goal line. It's a touchdown.
He got that ball square on the goal line for the touchdown. It goes to a 35-yard passing play as Eric Evenson with that great 10,500-meter dash speed burned everybody.
And Darlington will get a chance to see it. He throws sidearm here because he had to adjust his pattern. His body was going one way. He saw that the man was open right away and threw the ball sideways. There you see good speed by Evenson.
John Newton
and the extension
was the defensive back that got burned on the play. Going for the point after a trick play as a quick handoff to a running back, or to a lineman, I should say, at the line of scrimmage, is stopped right there at the line of scrimmage. So a little gadget play doesn't work as they went for a sneaky 2. But as it is, with 6:24 to go in the 2nd quarter, the Morris Redskins have broken out in front. They lead 6-0. So Morris cashes in on the turnover and takes it in for the touchdown. 35 yards. Eric Evans in his 5th touchdown reception of the year. John Darlington throws his 18th scoring pass of the season. And so midway here in the 2nd quarter, the Redskins draw first blood. John Newton picks it up on the bounce and has his legs taken out from underneath him at the 29-yard line. That's where the Bulldogs will start this drive. 1st and 10.
We'll get a chance to see that touchdown that Morris scored right here. You'll see the sidearm throw by Darlington to Evenson. Evenson was wide open, and now you'll get a chance to see him extend his body to get that ball across for the touchdown. There's the extension.
Although it looked for a moment like his knee went out of bounds at about the 2-yard line before he got to the goal line. Morris might have gotten a break on the play. On the running play, the tailback, Arthur Russell, slanting through the right side. Picks up a couple of yards, picks up 3 yards to the 32-yard line.
Here's a scoring summary, Tom. 6 plays, 52 yards, 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Evenson with a 35-yard touchdown reception from Darlington.
Dan Darlington knew his defense was going to be good this year. 9 starters returned from a team that lost only once a year ago. 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. 2nd down and 7. Popping through the middle, Stacey Flowers. He's still on his feet, and he's into Morris territory to the 49-yard line. He picks up 19 yards on the running play. He refused to go down as Stacey Flowers, who averaged 5.2 yards per carry on the year, picked up 19 big ones there.
On replay, we'll get a chance to see it. It was just a little inside trap, little fullback trap, and Stacey Flowers gets that little crack and makes the best of it.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs in Morris' side of the football field. Rutkowski threw into heavy traffic as in the middle of triple coverage was Tom Lyons. It was knocked away. Ben Price was there, one of 3 Redskin defenders. Brings up 2nd down and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Well, this is the situation that Coach Darlington, I think, really wanted to get. He wanted to get that early lead so that his defense knew that they would have to get the job done today in order to win there tonight, to win that championship. And you can't ask much more than what you're doing right now.
2nd and 10 at the Morris 49 as Rutkowski and his Bulldogs trail 6-0. This time Lyons has the reception. They ran the same play, and he is stopped at the 35-yard line. A pickup of 14 yards and a 1st down.
You know, you covered John Newton, and then you've got a player like Tom Lyons roaming around, and Rutkowski really threw that ball well.
Lyons is a quiet kid. In fact, Gary Corhonen said in 4 years he hasn't said a word to me. You always wonder what's ticking underneath those quiet players. They go out and just do their job, go about their business. 1st and 10 from the 35. That's Arthur Russell. Got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Maybe a yard on the play. This Morris defense, again, has shut out 7 of their 13 opponents this year. They allowed only 19 points in their last 8 regular season games. In fact, in one 5-game stretch, the defense allowed only 7 points.
And there was some real good pursuit by the Morris defense. And Ben Price just came in and really finished off the tackle.
2nd and 10 at the Morris 35. Penalty markers thrown just before the play got underway. Somebody was lined up in the neutral zone. And somebody will lose 5 yards. 4:11 left to go here in the first half. 6-0 in favor of Morris. So the penalty is marched off against Morris. Illegal procedure. As they march the ball down to the 30-yard line, it'll be 2nd down, 5 yards to go. This drive started back on the Richards 29-yard line. This will be the 6th play of the drive. An offset tandem backfield. Flowers and Russell. Quick hitter, that's the fullback Stacey Flowers, and he drives to about the 26-yard line. He picked up 4. It'll be 3rd and 1.
And Ben Price linebacker, number 44, in on that play again. And that was definitely a quick hitter. That's what you call a fullback getting up into the hole real quick and getting as much as he can just boom, banging in there.
And a lot's got to happen in a very quick fraction of a second for that play to go well.
And he found that crack.
3rd and 1 at the 26. Here is Arthur Russell. And he has the first down. They'll move the chains again. Mike Nelson, the linebacker, made the stop on the play, but not until Arthur Russell picked up the first down.
And we'll get a chance to watch these linebackers. There's that dynamic duo. Just boom, right in there inside. And they're just stuffing everything and letting the halfbacks come in and finish off in a number of cases.
Nelson really got sealed off the play.
Yes, he did.
Was able still to get a piece of the running back. Great effort. From the 24, 1st and 10. Rutkowski finds Tom Lyons. He's to the 10. And driven out of bounds at the 7-yard line. A 17-yard reception. Mike Wright, the safety, finally sent Lyons over the sidelines.
You get a chance right here to watch John Rutkowski. He really has quick feet for a quarterback. Here you see him right now. He's just dropping straight back. Boom, a real quick throw because he got back to set up to be able to see where his receiver was.
Great job running after the catch by Tom Lyons. If John Newton's the best athlete on the team, Lyons, according to Gary Corhonen, is not far behind.
That's for sure. They're holding hands, I think.
1st and goal from the 7. They run out of a power I formation. And whistles blow at the snap of the football. And it looks like this one will cost Richards 5. 2:46 left to go in the first half. Could be a big confidence builder for Richards. In fact, this is only the second time they have trailed all season long. The first time was last week in the semifinals when they fell behind 7-0, then scored the next 45 points.
Right, and they did that last year, too. They got behind in one football game and then scored, I think it was, if I can remember right, at least 35 or 40 points. Kevin Jackson back in at the tailback spot.
Running at a power, actually looks like, yes, Jackson is the tailback. The fullback is Russell, which is his old position. The power back is Stacy Flowers. Now it's 1st and goal from the 12. Quick opener for Arthur Russell. Gets a couple at most.
And Arthur Russell went on the wrong count, but he had enough intelligence to just be able to go back down into a 3-point stance so that they did not get a flag.
Mike Nelson, Morris' second leading tackler on the year, made the stop. He came into the game with 121 stops on the year. They give him a yard on the play. 2nd and goal for the Bulldogs from the 11 as Newton and Lyons go wide to the right with Lyons in the slot. They run out of a pro set. The tight end lined up left. Rutkowski with plenty of protection. Now he runs to the right side. And it's caught for a touchdown. Caught by John Newton.
And let me tell you this, Tom. John Rutkowski bought a little time. There wasn't anybody open. They were covered. The receivers were good enough to come back. And there's a perfect example of it. John Rutkowski, that's his touchdown, even though the receiver made it.
Newton just inside the goal line with a 16th touchdown reception of the year.
John Newton, of course, had to come back for that ball, but John Rutkowski bought the time because it was good coverage by Morris.
And now Richards, as the game is tied at 6 with 1:59 to go in the first half, wants to talk it over. Let's look at it again from ground level.
All right, Rutkowski looking at his first receiver and then his secondary receiver, buys a little time. Now he sees Newton coming back and throws a strike for a touchdown.
Boy, I tell you what, a quarterback to have all that time to pick and choose, to see what's developing in the secondary, that's just something that, you know, coaches can only dream about getting that quarterback at times.
Well, John obviously knows what they want to do with their offense, and he's not a bad student either. He's got over a 26 ACT, so that helps to have a quarterback that can read and have that kind of intelligence.
They went 71 yards in 10 plays, taking up 4 minutes. And 25 seconds, culminating on the 11-yard touchdown reception by John Newton.
I think another point about John Newton was the fact that when he did come back, he was able to stay in bounds to make that catch because it was very close to being out of bounds.
Not only is Newton blessed with good speed, with 4.5 speed in the 40, but he is also the 3rd strongest player on the team behind a couple of linemen. He's not afraid to go to the weight room either. But I tell you, the guy that really makes this Richards ball club go is Rutkowski. Korhonen said, if I have to go without one guy, I don't want it to be Rutkowski. I got to have him to make all the wheels move on that Richards well-oiled offensive machine. They're going to go for two as we're tied. And once again, a timeout called by Rutkowski. Didn't like what he saw in the defensive alignment from the Morris Redskins and wants to talk it over again.
We got to point out one of the best Bulldog fans for Richards is John Rutkowski's sister Debbie. She came all the way from Houston, Texas to see this football game.
And so far it's been a dandy. When Notre Dame battles Miami, it's worth another look. Sunday morning at 9, Sports Channel presents a replay of a classic rivalry. The top-ranked Irish travel to Miami for a showdown that will help to determine the next national champion. But Sunday morning at 9 on Sports Channel, our season never ends. And what a big weekend we've got here with live coverage of all 6 of the title games this weekend in the Illinois High School Association playoffs.
Of course, tomorrow we've got the 5A and the 6A championship, so we've got 2 more to go.
Right now, we've got a 6-6 tie as Oaklawn Richards has just pushed it in on a 71-yard touchdown drive. They decided to go for 2. They're going to stay with that decision. One wide out to either side. Lyons to the left, Newton to the right. And back to the 9, Flowers and Russell. Russell doesn't get in. He stopped at the 1-yard line, so the try for 2 is no good, and we're even at 6.
So we have a new ball game.
A 6-6 ball game with 1:59 left to go, and credit the stop on that play and the try for 2 to linebacker Mike Nelson, and let's see just how he did it.
He reverses out, hands it off to Arthur Russell, and there he is. There's that linebacker right in the nose of the play.
So each quarterback with a touchdown pass thus far in this ball game, as we're even at 6. And frankly, are you surprised, these 2 evenly matched teams?
No, I'm not, and I think that that what we had talked about earlier at the hotel was that defense was going to win this football game, and I still believe that.
Now remember, last week in the semifinals, Richard trailing 7-0 scored 45 in a row. They had a couple of close games during the regular season. They led Sandburg, who really gave a great battle to East St. Louis Senior in 6A in the quarterfinals. They led Sandburg 6-3 at half. Richards won at 32-10, an impressive win. And then Richards led Shepherd 16-6 at half, won 35-6. The kick goes all the way through the end zone with that 20-mile-an-hour plus gale force wind at the back of the kicker.
And I think the emphasis should be on plus.
Plus. However, a penalty marker was also thrown upfield. There is a penalty on the play.
Can't imagine what that would be for.
A ball that lands on the end line. Non-returnable at all. A minute 59 to go in the second quarter. I'm Tom Stalker along with Bill Gorley here, bringing you live the 4A championship battle of 2 unbeaten teams. A personal foul against Morris. A dead ball foul, personal foul, and it's half the distance from the 20 on the touchback back to the 10-yard line.
And that really hurts because you've got those extra yards to be able to work their offense. And Richards, even though they've been touted as a great offensive team, certainly aren't slouches defensively.
And it's also 1st and 20 back at the 10-yard line. On a quick running play up the middle, gets just a couple conservative play called there by Dan Darlington here in the waning moments of this first half. A 6-6 ball game. As 3 yards on that carry. Bring up 2nd down and 17.
Tom, you had mentioned about coming up here yesterday and going to Morris and noticing all the signs. That is certainly a football crazy town.
Mills and Bafteri in the backfield. There's Bafteri trying to get outside, and he is hit hard. He turned the corner at the 12. The first to get him, Chris Copen, that sophomore linebacker. Now, Gary Korhonen has a rule. No sophomores get promoted. Then why is Chris Copeland the starting linebacker as a sophomore? Because he was promoted after he completed his 9-game sophomore season. So in Corhonen's mind, he's now a junior.
But you'll also see another good example of why he was brought up.
Good play as well by Kevin Jackson, coming up to provide run support from the secondary. It's 3rd down and 18 at the 12-yard line as they lost a yard on the play. Mills, the fullback. Good blocking, drive straight ahead to about the 16, picks up 4 and brings a 4th down with 37 seconds to go.
And Brian Girk in on that tackle, and Morris just tried to put a few wide outs and try and spread Richards out a little bit and then run their fullback up inside.
Now here's a big punt as Richards takes a timeout to stop the clock with 37 seconds to go. Big punt coming up here for John Darlington.
Well, and I tell you, this is why you want to take a timeout, because that wind is going to be in his face. And he's had a couple of punts already that look like they might have been able to be blocked. And you have to wonder, will Richards go after it at this point?
There you see those gusting winds really stretching out those flags at the left end of the field here, and those flagpoles going back and forth as well. It's been that way all day here at Hancock Stadium. It's been a factor for all the games thus far. This is the 4th title game of the day here.
At this point, as a coach, do you go for the block or do you just wait for a bad kick? And of course, I'm sure both coaches have considered it, and now they've got their strategy set.
And the pressure is going to be squarely on the shoulders of junior quarterback John Darlington, who now drops back into punt formation. He's had a tough time so far this evening, about 33 yards per punt.
But yet that's still his average, so he's really been doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Good snap, and he gets it away. Hangs up high in that wind. Newton, a fair catch, fumbles the ball. And it looks like Morris may have it. Let's unpile the bodies. No. Oh, miraculously, somehow Richards got it back. Newton's really having problems with the wind.
Wouldn't you sometimes like to be underneath that pile to see what goes on? Why some other team recovers it when it looked like it was obvious that somebody else had gotten it? We'll get a chance here.
It goes as a 25-yard punt, but that's not a bad punt against that wind.
No, and there, it looks like it looked like Morris had recovered it, so somebody had to sneak in there and get that ball away from Richards. For Richards, I should say.
Morris had him outnumbered there at the pass and couldn't come away with a football. 1st and 10 at the 41. Rutkowski trying to get him a lead before halftime. Looking for Killebrew, and a diving interception by Eric Evenson. An athletic interception by Evenson, who has come up with a big play here on defense as he owns the touchdown reception for Morris here in the ballgame.
It's amazing how Morris goes to the football once that ball's in the air. They really play the ball well.
Morris gets it back at its own 12-yard line with 10 seconds to go. Great diving effort.
Isn't it? Look at it. He covers up that ball to protect it.
And they're just going to go down to one knee. John Darlington is with 10 seconds to go. The clock has expired. We've reached the end of the first half of this Class 4A state championship battle. 2 unbeaten streaks on the line. The state trophy is on the line. We're tied at 6. You can't get any more even than that. Coming up, our halftime recap and a whole lot more here on Sports Channel coming up right after this.
Sorry?
No, it should be there.
Yes, right here.
Yeah, bring up a little something. Minute and a half.
Good.
We just do a little recap right now, right? No hot. Okay.
Just recap.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to present the 1989 Marching Redskins from Morris Community High School. Until now, John Major and Houston reached the band in this opening drill. The music is John Wilkins, the final team from the 1988 Summer Olympics, the Olympic squad.
Highlights will be towards the end of the halftime.
This is just a review.
Just a little 2-minute over the scoring summary and just kind of your impressions. Okay. Two undefeated teams. Neither team's been able to get an advantage. We're dead even at 6. Nothing has been decided yet in this battle of the two titans of Class 4A, Oaklawn Richards and Morris. Here's a scoring summary for Morris. They struck first as Eric Evenson was on the receiving end of a 35-yard pass from John Darlington. They went for 2 on a trick play, and it was no good. That came off a fumble recovery. They cash in on the turnover, and then the 11-yard touchdown pass from John Newton, I should say to John Newton from John Ruskowski, capped the 71-yard scoring play. Big plays, both teams offensively, both teams defensively. It's as even really on the field as it is on the scoreboard.
Right, and I think it was billed just the way we talked about it. Defensively, and you're seeing Richards very versatile offensively and being able to throw the ball against the wind and with the wind without any problems. So it's built just the way we talked about it, Tom.
Anything surprise you at all in that first half? Maybe the number of defenses run by Morris, maybe some offensive things?
Two things. Morris running the ball very quickly and not letting Richards get set defensively, and Morris, the number of different changes that they're using defensively. They had at least 4 different defenses, and early part of the game, the very first part of the game, they used 3 right away.
And also remember, early in the ball game, a 60-yard run by Arthur Russell put Richards in scoring position down at about the 15-yard line, and that's where Morris's defense first showed how tough it was.
And I guess the other thing that surprised me a little bit was the fact that Arthur Russell more running at tailback than Kevin Jackson.
But he has been doing the numbers lately. Jackson has been banged up with a bad knee as he missed a couple of ball games, and they just feel that obviously that Russell coming into the game has just got more momentum.
Well, whatever quarterback has the win with him may be the team that wins.
Also, we thought maybe some special teams might come into play. They have, and I'm very surprised at the trouble a good veteran player like John Newton has had in handling this wind.
Well, it's just the wind is swirling down there, and it's just very difficult once the ball gets up high in the air as to which way it's going to go, and of course the best thing is to get away from it.
Well, we said whichever team plays the best defense might win this ball game. So far, the defenses have really been at the forefront. We have a 6-6 ball game at halftime in this battle of undefeated teams. The Redskins of Morris and the Bulldogs of Oaklawn Richards coming up. We'll have a halftime interview and lots more from Hancock Stadium coming up right after we take this timeout right here on Sports Channel.
Stick this in your pocket
Right in there.
so it doesn't fall.
Hey, put it in my pocket.
Oh. I'm going to sneak outside, guys. Go down the stairs a little bit.
Doing all right for you?
Huh? Hey, you're doing great. The naked broad is better. Okay. This thing isn't very good in the ear, but we got it. I can hear it. Okay? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I will. Thanks. Right. Okay. Move this way. Up this way. There.
Turn sideways or turn forward.
And it's halftime at Hancock Stadium in Normal, Illinois, in the 4A championship game with the Morris Redskins 6 and Richards Bulldogs 6. And here I am with halftime with Tom LaMonica, the sports information director at Illinois State University. Tom, this has to be a tremendous event for Illinois State. And I know you have a lot of responsibility because you've got all the media and you've got the TV and radio people. How long does it take you to get ready for this event?
Well, actually, Bill, the main thrust of the work falls on Jim Flynn. And Jim Flynn is probably one of the best at his job in the nation. He coordinates all the media for the IHSA, so he has the bulk of the work. We just support him with facilities and try to help him with equipment and some staffing. But really, I'd say Jim does the bulk of the work. I'm really having a good time doing this weekend.
Well, I know you've been here a number of years. How many years has it been that you've been doing these games here at Illinois State?
Well, I've been here 10 years. Obviously, we've been doing it here for longer than that, but I've been here throughout the 80s. It's been a great experience for me and for Illinois State. Our athletic program just gets better and better. This fall already, we have a volleyball team headed for the NCAA tournament, men's and women's cross-country championships, and a football program. Jim Haycock with the football program turned around. We were 5 and 6 this fall and very enthusiastic about next year.
Well, Jim Haycock lost the first 4 ball games, if I remember reading the newspaper right, and then he came back and won the next 5. Wasn't that the way it went?
Well, we lost 4 of our first 5. We were 1 and 4 at one point, at a very low point in the season. Then we came back and won 4 conference games in a row. We went from last to second in the conference in just 1 year. So Jim Haycock, like I said, really got it turned around. Very young team, lots of sophomores and freshmen playing.
Well, my question to you then is having the Illinois State Championships here has to help his football program.
Well, it has to. I mean, coming to Hancock Stadium, playing on the turf, it's the goal of every high school football team every single year. And the experience of playing on the turf, of playing in Hancock Stadium, which is a good stadium, the fans can get involved, and the bands and the media exposure they get here. We're very pleased at the number that we're able to get to come back here for college. We have a pretty good university to go with it.
Now you have 2 more games. You have a 5A and a 6A. Now what preparations do you have to make this evening? By the time this game is over, it'll probably be 10 o'clock. What do you have to do to get ready for tomorrow's game?
Well, really, mainly tonight, we want to take care of the needs of the media that are here tonight. Most of the preparation for tomorrow's game will already be done. It'll just be a matter of getting organized what's already been planned. And then tomorrow night, Illinois State opens its basketball season, men's basketball season, against Wisconsin Green Bay over in Redbird Arena. So it'll be another busy day for us.
Now, you've talked about Redbird Arena, and it's brand new, and this is their opening time. So we want to thank you. I know you've got a lot of other things to do, and we look forward to seeing you maybe over in Redbird Stadium.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
It's halftime here at the 4A championship game with Morris Redskins 6 and the Richards Bulldogs 6. And we'll be right back after this message. You must have a high ACT. Thanks, pal. That's better. Put that thing in my pocket from now on.
Yeah.
Right now, these 2 highlights right here, that one here, that's the first touchdown. Okay. You just need this? Okay. Tim? These are 2 highlights.
Okay. You want us on headsets on this?
Tim? Yes. You want us on these for the highlights?
Well, we can go on
We
camera.
can do whatever you want.
Got time?
We have time? We have time to go? All right, okay. You got another one? Oh, the hell it is. We're only going to be on it for 30 seconds. He can just do it, and I can go from there.
Back at blustery, windy Hancock Stadium on the campus of Illinois State University. Tom Stalker, Bill Gorley with you. Halftime of the 4A championship game. We're all even at 6. Morris and Richards in the top 2 ranked teams battling head-to-head, and they're both undefeated 13-0 as in this ball game. What about the second half? What do you expect to unfold?
Well, I look for Morris to try and do more things offensively. I look for them to try and spread Richards out a little bit. Richards, I'm sure, feel that they have the offense that they can go with the people that they've been doing things with, and I don't see any change with them. But I do see Morris trying to spread Richards out a little bit more to take advantage of Darlington throwing the football.
And I still have a sense that perhaps a big play, maybe a touchdown run off a special teams play, is still in the offing in this game.
Well, that could make the difference, and I think a key turnover here or there obviously is going to turn the tide in this football game.
Again, we're tied at 6. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half of play between these two titans of Class 4A, as it was the Morris Redskins who first drew blood on a touchdown pass, as John Darlington, a good rollout, finds Eric Evenson, 35 yards.
And of course, Darlington had to throw the ball sideways, sidearm, which isn't exactly a classic way to throw the ball. But then you see Evenson. He looked like he might have had a knee out of bounds, as you pointed out earlier, Tom. But he extends his body, and the official was right there, so he makes the call for a touchdown.
Again, when it appeared he might have been out of bounds at the 2, they gave him the touchdown. It was 6-0 Morris. Then with 1:59 left to go in the first half, here is John Rutkowski. Look at all the time in the world he's got to find a little ad-lib play with Newton.
Great protection, and he was looking for the right receiver, and he didn't see him, so he buys a little time. Then he goes to the sideline, throws the ball to Newton, and Newton is able to stay in bounds and make that catch.
Morris defense has a couple of pass interceptions. It doesn't look as if Rutkowski's been able to throw directly into the teeth of this defense. You might see some more rollouts and sprint outs. We take a look at the first half statistics, where we see Richards with the total yards edge, 158 to 101, and also an edge in time of possession.
With the ability for John Rutkowski to be able to scramble, and I know he's won a couple of ball games and gotten some key first downs early in the season, I would look for them to roll out a little bit more and maybe even sprint out.
Passing yardage not as high as you would expect on a windy night like this. Look at the big turnover department. 3 turnovers for Richards. Only one of them, however, has been cashed in for points by the Morris Redskins.
Well, in talking to Gary Carhonen, that was one of his fears, was that his team has turned the ball over a little bit more often than he normally likes. But so far, it's still a 6-6 ball game.
And also the 0 turnovers for Morris, very important, because in the last 2 ball games, Richards' opponents have been forced to cough up the football a total of 4 times each game, total of 8, and 6 of those have been cashed into touchdowns by Richards. They've been very opportunistic in that department the last couple of playoff games.
So what you could say is that you look for a turnover maybe to change the tide in the football game, and that'll make the difference for who wins the 4A championship.
And again, also coming to mind, John Newton's troubles in terms of handling those punts, the wind really playing games with it. I would tend to think that Gary Carhonen might say in the second half, just stay clear of it. Let it bounce. Let it do what it wants to do.
Well, that would be the advice if I was coaching. That's what I would say, is just get away from the ball. And particularly when they're kicking against the wind, you don't know which way it's going to go. So why take it? Take the short bounce, take the 15, 25 yards, and then go from there with your offense.
6-6 ball game. Do you see a similarly low-scoring second half?
Yes, I do. I do, because they're both good defensive football teams, and defense is what wins games when you get this far in championship rounds.
Even though Gary Carhonen said in my talk to him this week, very privately, Morris's defense might be rated a little better than ours, which is something to say for a coach ranked #1 in the state.
Well, of course, he sees films and he talks to coaches, and Morris is a little bit out of the media area, and Richards gets all the media hype. And Morris has been sitting and waiting. I think they relish playing a #1 team like Richards.
Yeah, you know that Chicago Grapevine works real well in the high school circles. Morris is a little beyond. That's long distance for the Grapevine.
Sure it is. They're 18 miles west of Joliet. Not a lot of people know they're there, but they've had had a lot of success. And I know when you talk with Coach Darlington, he just said, well, a lot of people don't think we're going to win, and we'll just go right along with that and work at it.
Well, the Class 4A championship game has now become a 24-minute game. 2 12-minute quarters left to play. We're even at 6. Both teams are back onto the field here at Hancock Stadium as we're getting ready for what should be an outstanding second half between the top 2 ranked teams in the state in Class 4A. Coming up, we'll have third quarter action right after this on Sports Channel. I have to have my beers tonight microwaved.
A couple of Irish puppies wouldn't be bad either.
I'll tell you, both games that we've had have been good football games. At least you're able to let the games do themselves.
I'll tell you what, my first quarter was about as bad of a quarter as I had. I could not get in the flow with that quick offense at Morris was running. It was killing me.
But still, it was still the football game did itself. But it is, you know, it's hard to get into sync.
Yes. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
Getting ready for the third quarter here at Hancock Stadium. As you see at the very far end of the field, the Richards Bulldogs coming together to get themselves pumped up for this second half of action as we're tied at 6. Now we have been running behind schedule a little bit with getting all this action in, all this live action here on Sports Channel, but Sports Channel viewers, never fear, we'll have the entire Sports Channel lineup coming your way this evening. Early action followed by the Chicago Bulls weekly highlight show. Bulls Beat will run in its entirety following this Class 4A championship game. Early action in Bulls Beat still coming your way here on Sports Channel, and as we love to say, our season never ends. Our weekend won't end here until we crown the 6A champion tomorrow afternoon. There you see Dan Darlington, an old teammate of mine many years ago at the University of Illinois. I used to tape and wrap his ankles, and he said he played well despite the fact I did that.
And how many is many years, Tad?
How about 1970-71?
All right.
The Jim Valek, Bob Blackman era.
I think the Jim Valek era might have been one that they want to forget about.
Yeah, you could say that. Great success now for the Fighting Illini football team.
Well, Bob Blackman, I know, was a real fine gentleman, had a lot of opportunities, and when he was at Dartmouth and I was coaching at Brown, we had a chance to go head-to-head.
But Dan was a hard-hitting rover back in those teams, and those same characteristics have carried with him, with his football team, a hard-nosed football team, as they've given #1 ranked defending champion Richards everything they could ask for and then some. It's been a great ball game, just as the billing had been. Morris will kick it off. Bouncing ball taken by an up man, Kennebrew, and he is able to get 5 yards to the 45-yard line. So Morris and their kickoff man, Ben Price, didn't want to risk putting it in the air, maybe have it slap right back in your face, so they put a knuckleball on the ground, and Kennebrew was able to return it to the 5-yard line. Kennebrew, a member of the Maxey Court group, that little block-and-a-half street just off the Tri-State Tollway that has sent so many great players into the Richards program since 1970. So many great players from that Maxey Court area. First and 10, Richards from the 45. Rutkowski gives off to Arthur Russell. And he is able to move the ball to the 48-yard line. Picks up 3 yards. Mike Barkley, defensive left tackle on the stop, the 5'10", 235-pound junior. Rutkowski so far in the game has completed 5 of 12 for 57 yards. 1 touchdown, has also been picked off twice. That's one thing that Gary Corhonen said. We got to avoid the turnovers, and they've been charged with 3 so far in the ball game. 1 has been converted into a touchdown. Rutkowski airs it out and skips it by his intended receiver, which was Lyons at the Morris 45.
You really have to admire the quick feet that John Rutkowski has to get back, to be able to throw the ball, and he throws the ball with some good power. He has some good strength throwing the football.
He's a very aware young man. We were going over our game plan down by the truck inside Horton Fieldhouse, and he was over warming up, and he could overhear it. And he looked, and I said, "We're talking over your game plan, John." He just kind of smiled and went about his business. 3rd and 7 from the 48. Rutkowski with room to run. Yanked down from behind at the Morris 44-yard line. And he picks up 8 yards, and he gets the first down with a yard to spare.
John is really dangerous when he breaks out. We'll get a chance to see this from the end zone now. He drops back, straight back, doesn't see the people he wants, picks a little hole. There you saw the hole, turns to his left. You got to put that ball away, John. Packs it in, and of course he makes something out of nothing.
Great job by McGreeny, the tackle, getting Kneller out of the play. Kneller essentially over pursued, and that allowed Rutkowski the chance to run and pick up the 8 yards and the first down from the 44. Rutkowski throws it at the shoe tops of John Newton, and it's incomplete. He was covered on the play by Evenson, and also coming over on the play. Now let's see, Newton looks to be down. Mike Nelson also defending for the Redskins of Morris. And Newton slow in getting up.
Right, and losing John Newton certainly would stifle your offense a little bit. We'll get a chance to take a look right here.
Let's see if we can find out what happened on the play. The pass thrown low. He kind of just got too much to release the ball too late.
Well, that was just a... It was 2 hits.
He got hit twice.
Yes, he got hit from the backside. We'll get a chance to... Right there, and then he gets a knee right there
from Nelson.
From Nelson in the back. That might have been in the kidneys.
They still tend to him. 10 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. We're tied at 6. John Newton, a key player, came into the game. 46 receptions, 713 yards on the year, a 5'11 senior. And that's one thing with seniors like Newton and Lyons, Rutkowski, the senior-dominated team. Gary Corhonen said, "I put pressure on myself because I knew we had the talent to repeat this year. Next year," he says, "no pressure. A lot of that talent will be gone. But this year, with all the kids we had coming back, he knew he had the artillery to make a run at the successful defense of the state title."
Well, back in the hotel, we ran across John Rutkowski's dad, and I've known John for a number of years, and we were talking just about that same kind of thing, and he said the pressure's on now, but next year we'll just go back to the drawing board.
Anthony Gallion comes in to replace John Newton. 2nd and 10. He airs it long for Gallion, who is tied up on the sidelines. No penalty marker. Eric Evenson was the defender on the play, and the Richards coaching staff is incredulous. They can't believe nothing was called on the play. Mike Barkley put good pressure on the quarterback, Rutkowski. But it looked like Anthony Galligan got tangled up on the play.
But we'll get a good shot here, and oh my goodness,
he just got it away.
John Rutkowski really took a hit, and there's a little pushing and shoving, but I think it's a little bit on both sides, and the official just said, "Forget it. We'll just let it go and start over again."
3rd down and 10 for Richards at the Morris 44. Rutkowski throwing it out to the right and threw it away. Making the wrong cut, or cutting off the route early, was Tom Lyons.
I think that pattern was changed by Tom Lyons, and Rutkowski just didn't read it, and he went ahead and threw the ball.
Many reads have to be made in a pass route such as that. The receiver has to read the defense. He has a couple of options. He has to make the correct read, and then the quarterback has to see exactly what that receiver's doing.
It might have been an up-and-out type of pattern.
So it brings up 4th down. With 10:10 to go in the 3rd quarter, a 6-6 ball game. And it looks like Richards is going to punt the football away, but let's see exactly.
Now, this is the quarter that Richards has to make hay.
They took a delay of game penalty intentionally to get a little more room for the punter.
This is the quarter that Richards has to make a little hay because of the wind. So again, they've got the wind with them, and maybe they can get some good, decent field position on Morris and make Morris have to go the full length of the field against the wind.
So dropping back in punt formation, John Newton. His first punt, as you see, was 40 yards with the wind. This is also with the wind. Plenty of time. Got a beauty. Although he shanked it off the side of his foot, got good downfield distance, but put it off the side, and it's going to be marked at the 29-yard line.
He got good heights, but that swirling wind, and he actually kicked the ball a little bit to the sideline, and it blew it out.
What also affects the punter, wind like this affects the drop of the ball.
That's right. And I think a lot of people forget that.
You know, a difference of an inch, and the drop of the football is all the difference in the world.
Definitely.
And the contact with that instep. 1st and 10 from the 29 for the Redskins of Morris. Darlington hands off to Nazir Bafteri as he goes down begrudgingly as they give him progress to the 33-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play.
You know, we've talked about the running backs that Richards has, and Nazir Bafteri, I mean, he's had 220 carries coming into this football game, and he's had over 1,400 yards. So he's not a slouch as a running back, as we see number 32 there.
Has good power, but also has good breakaway speed. A hard-nosed kid of Yugoslavian descent. 2nd and 6 from the 33. Great blocking and a running play. Takes it all the way out to the 42, 43-yard line of the Morris Redskins. Great power by Nazir Bafteri. That's a classic example of the kind of power he's got. Look at this young
look at
man.
the power. He's taking his lineman. He just keeps pushing him. It looks like a scrum in rugby, and he just keeps going.
It also looked like a cattle drive for a while there. A little rawhide.
Well, he knows where he wants to go, and he said, hey, lineman, you got to get going a little bit, buddies.
He got the first down as the ball spotted at the 43-yard line. 10 yards on that running play. Quick hitter for the fullback, Mike Mills. And he spins it to the 48-yard line. Picked up 5 yards there. A couple of good first down carries. 4 yards for Bafteri, the first play of this drive. And now this play here on first down, a 5-yard gain by Mills.
And Mike Mills, 6 foot, 200-pound fullback, and he's just a guy that's going to come in and get you a yard here and there. And he's the kind of guy that saves your job, Tom. When it's 4th and 1, you give him the football, and he gets that 1 yard for you, so the fans aren't too angry if you don't get that first down.
A career extender, eh?
Exactly.
2nd and 5. Bafteri hammers into the left side of the line. And he is stopped at the Richards 49-yard line. He picked up 3. Good late block by Farber, the fullback. It is 3rd down, 2 yards to go. 8:09 to go in the 3rd quarter. Morris with the football. They're ranked number 2. There you see their coach, Dan Darlington, who went to school at Morris High School, and his coaching staff are his former high school teammates at Morris.
And he started coaching at Spring Valley, which is just down the pike a little bit.
Penalty markers fly. Somebody was lined up in the neutral zone.
I think that Richards was a little rambunctious on that, and they came into the neutral zone.
So it gives the Morris Redskins a first down to the 44-yard line. 2nd first down of this drive that started back at the 29-yard line. 6-6 ball game. Evenson goes wide to the left. Woolwen goes wide to the right. Mike Wright's in the slot to the right side. They have a single back set. Mills is at one back. He gets the call to the 41. A 3-yard pickup. He ran into Hal Mady, the defensive left end, a 6'4" senior. And as you said earlier in the first half, a transfer from New Mexico.
And there was a good example. They went to 2 wide outs on both sides of the field, trying to spread Richards out a little bit, but then just running a little fullback drive up the middle.
They're keeping it on the ground against the wind. 2nd and 7 at the Bulldog 41. Bafteri drives it to about the 36-yard line. Making the stop. Big block on the play was the center, Mike O'Hagan, a 6'1", 190-pound senior.
what we're seeing offensively from Morris is what Coach Darlington said that he thought he would try to do earlier in the football game was to just run right at Richards. Now you're not seeing any traps, you're not seeing any lineman pull, you're just seeing drive blocking, and you're seeing their backs go straight at the strength of Richards' defense.
Darlington felt that many of Richards' opponents gave up on the run too early. 3rd and 3. And that play didn't get the first down. Chris Copen, that hard, physical, tough, sophomore middle linebacker, made the stop. We mentioned Nohagan on the previous play. Let's see what he does now on this 3rd down and 3 play. Picks up the linebacker Copen well. But they didn't get the first down. It's 4th and 1.
Copen, I think we have to call him a 2+ sophomore.
4th and 1. Full house backfield. And Darlington says, I can't hear the signals. The ball is snapped anyways, and they got a first down.
They pulled that one off, didn't they? I think he ought to get an Academy Award for that one.
What? That one had to come from the bottom of the bag of tricks.
That's all he did was walk away. They snapped the ball, and Richards wasn't ready. We'll get a chance to see it from our end zone camera here. He walks away because the crowd's making noise like he can't hear.
A direct snap to Mills?
Yes.
Yes.
There it is.
Direct snap to the fullback Mills, and they picked up 3 yards on the first down. Here's Baftieri. He plows into the left side of the line and gets to about the 29, picks up 3.
That direct snap to Mills, it kind of reminds you of the old single wing because that's the way they used to play it.
That is some imaginative football. Dan Darlington's the guy that came up with it.
The whole team worked it because they all had to be good actors with that particular play.
And of course the quarterback had to make sure he got out of the way. He turned to the correct side. A lot of subtleties of that play. 2nd and 7 from the 29, and now a timeout call on the field with 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. A 6-6 ball game in the Class 4A championship game. A dandy battle between 2 great football teams. And there's lots more left to be played here at Hancock Stadium. Back with more coming up right after this on Sports Channel. That's a heck of a call.
Yep. I got it.
Sorry, folks. That time I thought we were all going. Do we got it? Not only is there a lot more left in tonight's game, we've got a lot more here tomorrow afternoon. Fans, stay right here on Sports Channel for continuing coverage of all the state football finals. Our next matchup pits Mount Carmel against Niles Notre Dame in Class 5A action. Kickoff slated for tomorrow is 12 noon right here on Sports Channel exclusively.
Well, let's see what kind of bag of tricks Morris comes up now with his in the current drive. Of course, is 10 plays, but let's see what they come up with here.
2nd and 7 from the 29. Baftieri drives it down to the 26-yard line. He picked up 3 on the running play. Outside of that direct snap to the fullback on that great acting job by Rutkowski, by Darlington, I should say, this has been a very basic drive.
Yes,
for Morris.
All drive blocking, no guards pulling, no traps, just going right at the heart of Richards' defense.
This is the third down faced by Morris on this drive. One time they converted the 4th down, and whistles blow, and it looks like Richards may have been lined up incorrectly, and it'll cost him 5, and that's another first down, the 2nd first down in this drive, awarded to Morris because of a Richards penalty.
They lined up offsides. Richards lined up offsides. That's why it was called before the snap.
So it's 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line in Richards' territory. Big time consuming drive for the Redskins. Doing its thing not only for Morris getting itself in the field position, but keeping that very explosive and potent Richards offense off the field.
Right, and of course the big point is that they're going against the wind. Fourth quarter, they'll have the win.
1st and 10 from the 21. Mills pounded a couple of times, and he found the going extremely rough as he was stopped cold at the line. Tom Lyons, a tough outside linebacker, the first one to get to him, a good steady linebacker.
Talking about stop cold, I think he was chilled.
That play was stuffed quickly by that good 6'2" senior linebacker. I think it's a physical game, huh? Look at the blood out there. 2nd down and 10. And this time it's Bafteri again, plowing it out through the left side.
And he's not even looking for the crack. He's just going to get as many yards as he can possibly get just by going straight ahead. He's saying get 3 and 4, and we'll keep the ball away from him, and we'll be able to get the ball into the end zone.
3rd and 7 will be the situation from the 18-yard line. Tell you, Bafteri hasn't had the big gainers, the big breakaway things, but he has been a real workhorse in that Morris offense.
Well, that's what I say. I think his whole philosophy is just to hit straight ahead and just get as many yards as he can and keep the ball away from Richards by getting first downs.
Bafteri out of the power I battles to get to the first down marker, but he stopped 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards shy, and it'll bring up 4th down, the second 4th down of this drive for the Redskins.
I'll tell you what, if he ran all 1,400 yards plus the way he's running today, he wouldn't be at this football game because he would be too banged up. But he's just saying we're going to have to go at him, and we're going to get it that way. Don't worry about cutting to the right and to the left.
It'll be 4th down and 1 yard to go. The members of the Richards team down below us on the sidelines are turning to their cheering section below us and saying, make some noise. 4th and 1 at the Bulldog 12. Keeping his Darlington. And it's going to be close.
Well,
very close.
You've got both teams pointing the opposite way, so let's see what the officials say.
2 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. We're still tied at 6. That was our halftime score in this 4A championship battle. Wow, they're going to have to bring the chains across. It's going to be literally a matter of inches, Bill, on that 4th down.
And it all depends on the spot by the official.
This could be the measurement of the ball game right here. Looks like they might be inches shy. It's first down. Oaklawn Richards. Their defense holds. And boy, talk about putting the screeching brakes on momentum of the Morris Redskins. That did it right there.
And now's the time, if Richards ever wanted to break this game wide open, would be to get a big gainer on a first down after the disappointment by Morris.
How many times do you see the team go for the jugular after a big emotional play like that? It's at the Richards 12-yard line, 1st and 10. On the running play, that's Kevin Jackson. As he's strung out, but gets it out to the 16-yard line and picks up 4 yards on the play. It was tackled by no less than 4 Morris Redskins.
And Kevin Jackson is a real load to bring down. He's 6'1", 191, and boy, he really got jolted to that turf.
2nd and 6 from the 16. Last couple of minutes here in 3rd quarter action. Fumble on the snap, and Rutkowski falls on the football for a loss back to about the 14.
We'll get a chance to see the center quarterback exchange right here. John Rutkowski just didn't get the ball correctly and wisely falls on it. And of course, this is the one time when you're inside that. I mean, you don't ever want to have that fumble on that exchange, but certainly not inside the 10-yard line.
You'd say the hands were a bit cold, but Rutkowski had been on the bench through that long Morris drive. He's going to throw on 3rd and long. He's got Kennebrew at the 25. Out to the 32, 33-yard line on the first down.
Now that's the big play that Richards is looking for right there, is to be able to penetrate that Morris defense. Here you'll see those quick feet, and there was always a poor exchange right there, but Rutkowski was able to recover, and he saw Kennebrew coming across.
18 yards on the passing play. And it's a first down. Rutkowski hit as he throws the football, and it falls incomplete in the general direction of Lions at the 40-yard line. And who put the pressure on Rutkowski?
Mike Barkley, number 71, putting the pressure on Rutkowski. Rutkowski, you look at him, and he really stays in that pocket a long time. He waits until the last minute to be able to throw that ball.
The times when he's been able to run on big gains out of the pocket, he's been able to run straight ahead, not scrambling to either side.
Well, Mike Poles, the head coach of Sullivan High School, said he thought he was one of the best quarterbacks he's seen all year.
2nd and 10 at the 32. Off to play action. Looking for Kennebrew. Knocked away by Mike Wright. A great leaping defensive play. What an athletic block there by Wright.
I'll tell you right now, I would recruit that young man any time. He plays the ball better than anybody I've seen in a long time in high school football. You'll see Mike Wright come into your picture at the last minute. He makes it, extends his arm, and still keeps after the ball.
If he doesn't get a hand in there, that's a big completion.
That's right.
Because the pass was thrown on the money by Rutkowski. 3rd and 10 at the 32.
5'11", 170 pounds, and he's every bit of football player that you would want.
27 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter as Rutkowski throws it out, airs it out, and overthrows Newton. On the pattern down the right side. That stops the clock with 23 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. We're still tied at 6.
And with 23 seconds to go, the complexion of this game may change a little bit, because now Morris will have the win and Richards will have it in their face. You know, you hate to have a championship game of this caliber come down to who has the win and who doesn't, Tom.
John Newton back in punt formation. And back deep is Eric Evenson for the Morris Redskins, back inside his 30. End over end kick low with the win at his back. Evenson has it at the 25, breaks one tackle, slips by another. Good run back out to the 38-yard line. Talk about making something out of nothing.
Now, Evenson, of course, is if you give him a step, he's going to be gone, because he can really fly.
Yeah, I expect to see him at O'Brien Stadium at Eastern Illinois University next May at the IHSA State Track Meet, which, of course, is carried right here on Sports Channel as we watch Eric Evenson with that 10.5 speed on the 100-meter dash show some pretty good moves that you don't show on the track.
Well, it isn't just his speed. It was his ability to maneuver and be able to move and make something, like you said, out of nothing. And he got the ball in a fairly decent field position. Now there's a flag down.
There was a penalty marker thrown on the return. It is an illegal block. An illegal block against Richards, and it's going to be a first down for Richards. It's an illegal block, and they signal the first down for the Bulldogs. Wow, what a turn of events.
Well, that's for sure. And of course, you've got 10 seconds to go to be able to. Now you let the ball fly. You got to let it go right now.
And apparently the illegal block occurred before possession changed.
Right. That it had to, in order to make that penalty come out the way it did.
A big break for Oaklawn Richards as they have new life on this drive. 1st and 10 at their own 47-yard line with 10 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. 2 wideouts to the right and a pro set backfield. Rutkowski double pumps and throws a cannon into traffic. I mean, he threw a bazooka right there in the middle of all that traffic. I don't think anybody had a chance to hold on. Kennebrew, the intended receiver, Nelson defending on the play.
Well, with how cold it is and to be able to throw that hard a ball, that's really tough to catch.
Looked like an old Bobby Douglas pass years ago with the Bears. All right, we've reached the end of 3 quarters. And still, we're even at 6 here in this great Class 4A championship game between 2 outstanding programs. What a 4th quarter we have in store. Stay tuned right here on Sports Channel.
Scrambling around, not sure where his receiver is, trying to buy a little time, and actually didn't roll out to his right or to his left. He just dropped straight back.
A loss of 8 on the sack. 4th and 18 coming up for the Bulldogs back at their own 39. Greg Gallo comes up with the big sack for Morris's defense, and back in punt formation, John Newton takes the snap at his own 25. A beauty against the wind. Wind really knocked it down, but he got all of that punt. Takes a Morris bounce, now takes a Richards roll, and it's finally whistled dead at the Morris 38-yard line. That's where the Skins will take it over, 1st and 10.
And I would be very thankful for that kind of a punt under these conditions.
He got it all.
Yes, he did.
You know, after you send it sailing off your feet, you can't control what the wind does. All you have to do is concentrate and make sure you make good contact.
Which he did. He actually kicked his foot a little bit off to the side to be able to try and get that ball off and get it so it wasn't so high.
1st and 10. Darlington looking for Evenson. He had him open and overthrew him on a slant route to the near sidelines. It was covered on the play by Newton and Jackson, but Evenson had room to operate.
See, now the wind is dictating. Now they're going to try and throw the ball, and they were having a lot of success by just running at Richards. So my question is, at this point, will you throw the ball just because the wind is with you, or would you go back to what your plan of attack was last third quarter?
Well, we've kept count. We haven't lost a flag yet today. But boy, they've been tested there on the flagpoles down there to our left as Darlington throws back and overthrows Wright, who was wide open. I'm not sure whether he was going for Wright, who was open on an out pattern, or he was looking for Evenson down the sideline.
It looked to me that he hurried the pattern. He had Wright. He had him wide open. There wasn't anybody defend, and we'll get a chance to see it right here.
He had time to throw.
Right. He saw Wright. It was going to Mike Wright right away, but he hurried his throw. He didn't plant his feet to be able to throw the ball to Mike Wright, knowing that he was open.
And it sailed on him a bit, too.
Yes. Well, that's why you have to be a little careful with this win, as we've mentioned so many times tonight.
3rd and 10 at the 38-yard line. The Redskins still on their own side of the 50. They send Bapteri in motion out of the shotgun. Darlington scrambling a bit. Off-balance pass intercepted. Intercepted by Dave Downey. And Richards has it at the Morris 45-yard line. Now wait, did he cough it up on the run back? It is Richards football. 1st and 10 at the 45. We'll take a look at the intended receiver all the way. They isolate.
He's just making a little turn inside, and there's the pick right there. An excellent defensive play.
Matt Tallarico was the intended receiver. First time we've seen him in the pattern. And that is the first turnover of the ball game for the Morris Redskins.
And at this point, with 10 minutes left to go, it could be a big one.
1st and 10. 45 yards away is the goal line, and trying to cut back is the tailback Arthur Russell, and he falls forward to the 41-yard line. He picked up 4 yards. Todd Farber, right end, made the tackle.
Well, Arthur Russell has the right idea. When you have a good defensive team that over pursues like Morris does, that cutback is generally there, Tom.
2nd and 6 from the Morris 41. Quick hitter to the fullback. Stacy Flowers bangs his way up the middle, and he is to the 36-yard line. Picked up 5 yards more. In fact, they may have given him progress just inside the 35. He's close to the first down. Jeremy Stump, the middle guard, a 6'2", 226-pound senior, made the stop, but not until Stacy Flowers picked up the Bulldog first down. It's 1st and 10 at the 34 in Morris territory. 9:25 left to go in the 4th quarter. Here's Russell, still on his feet, and extra effort gets him to about the 29-yard line, where he picks up 5 yards. And you see an inspired offensive unit out there for Richards.
And I would have to say right here, if we don't see a score by Richards, we're going to see an overtime football game. Here's a reverse out. And Russell just hitting right up in there. Nothing fancy, just pure power football.
Big stop there by Pat Kneller. But it's 2nd and 5. These are easy plays to call. Hit at the line is Russell.
What we're seeing now from Richards is the exact same thing that Morris employed in the 3rd quarter. They're just running right at the heart of the defense.
He picked up only 1. It brings up 3rd and 4. On the stop, the linebacker Mike Nelson. No sea hunt there. He was turf hunting all the way, looking for the running back, and he stopped him for a gain of only a yard.
This is just like two big heavyweights in a championship fight trying to find an opening that they might be able to score.
The only problem is we're in about the 14th round of the 15-round fight. 3rd down and 4. Trying the right side, Arthur Russell. And he is thrown back at the 29-yard line for a loss of a yard on the play. It brings up 4th and 5. Stuart Garisher, the left end, makes the stop. And once again, Mike Nelson was there.
Mike Nelson came up to finish it off.
It is 4th down with 7:52 left to go in this 4th quarter. 6-6. Each team with a touchdown pass play in the first half. 2 wideouts to the left. And backs in an I formation. 4th down, 4 yards to go. Fullback Flowers pops through, has the first down at the 20-yard line.
That young man has great quickness. He is off the mark so fast. You'll watch this line of scrimmage here. You'll see the line of scrimmage just taking Power Morris back, but it's Flowers' quickness coming up inside that made the difference.
Good block by Oldham coming out on the linebacker to seal off the linebacker and give Flowers that alley to run through. He picked up 8 yards. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Once again, it's the fullback, and he's at the 15-yard line. Stacy Flowers, a 5-yard gain. And right now, this game being dominated by the offensive line of the Bulldogs.
That's coached by John Rutkowski Sr. There's the numbers on Stacy Flowers, and 7 rushes for 45 yards. Not too fancy, not too big of numbers, but I'll tell you what, the last 4 plays, he's been playing outstanding football.
And it looks like Flowers was shaken up on the play. His legs a little wobbly as he is helped off the field.
It would appear that he is a little wobbly. Yes, he did. He looks like we'll get a chance to look at it right here.
See what happens on the hit provided here by Brandon Steele of Morris, number 43. Got him right in the back of the helmet.
And that hurts. That smarts. And
he's going down to the sidelines to answer that long-distance telephone
call.
That's
right. I think they were asking him his address there.
2nd and 5 at the 15-yard line. 6:45 left to go in regulation. A 6-6 ball game. Rutkowski may be audibilizing at the line. Here's the tailback as Russell slants to the right side and gets it to about the 13-yard line before he's stopped by Kneller. One thing that this offensive unit has done for Richards this year more than in the past has been changing plays at the line. You know, John Rutkowski didn't play last year as he played in the shadow of Efren Haymore, who's now playing in Wyoming. At the 14-yard line, it's 3rd down, 4 yards to go.
And counting down at 6:10.
An offset pro set backfield. Off the fake, Rutkowski. For Newton, knocked away by Wright. What a defensive play by the safety man.
I don't know where I'd throw the ball, but I would make sure that it was in the opposite end of the field of Mike Wright.
I'll tell you what, you talk about 2 fine athletes, Wright and Newton.
Here it is.
They went head-to-head on that play, and that time Wright came away on top. Oh, he's made...
He does it every time. He waits at the last minute and then picks the ball. There's a good, strong throw by John Rutkowski, and Mike Wright just making a tremendous play, getting that hand in front of the football.
Against the wind, they're not going to try for 3. It's 4th and 4 at the 14. 6 minutes to go. Rutkowski's going to throw. It's caught for a first down at the 8-yard line, caught by Kennebrew. Evenson defending on the play. 6 yards on the passing play, and it's 1st and goal for Richards.
We'll get a chance to see it right at field level. He reverses out. He's not looking for 2 people. He's looking for 1 man, Kennebrew. Kennebrew came underneath, and you'll see the catch right there, just before he steps out of bounds.
Kennebrew's made some big clutch receptions this year for Richards in terms of possession. That was a big one there on 4th and 4. The tailback, Russell.
Talking about key catches, that's 2 for Kennebrew in this half that were key. One other one was for a big first down earlier in the 3rd quarter.
This drive started at the 45-yard line of Morris. After Morris turned it over for the first time this evening. 2nd and goal from the 6. keeping Rutkowski, and he's able to get it inside the 3, close to the 2.
Well, he doesn't following up behind that center, did he?
It also shows you just how quickly that offensive line is firing out. You see, by the time he had the ball, he already had a yard at least to work behind his blocking. I mean, by the time he had the ball, he had a yard gain.
He's got a lot of bounce in his step right now. Before he was dragging a little bit, but boy, he's got some renewed energy.
3rd and goal from the 2. 4:52 to go. 6-6 ball game. Flowers. Did they say his progress was stopped? He bounced off the pile and went into the end zone, but they say his momentum had stopped at the 1-yard line.
I do not see a signal from the official, so it is at the 1-yard line.
It'll be 4th and goal.
You see it right here. It's the handoff straight ahead. He's following his blocking, going opposite the block of the center. Ben Price in there to make the tackle, and they call it at the 1-yard line.
Didn't look like he was stopped cold, however.
Well, I think that was a premature whistle, but you certainly don't want anybody to get hurt, and you'd rather see an official do that than get somebody hurt in a football game.
Looked like Flowers was still churning. 4th and goal from a yard away. Rutkowski may be changing the play, and now a penalty marker thrown, and it's delay of game. Too much time taken by the Bulldogs. A costly 5-yard penalty. A costly penalty.
Well, you keep looking to the coaching staff so you get the right call. You don't want to make a mistake inside that 5-yard line. And John Rutkowski kept looking to the sideline to get the call for the offensive play. He doesn't want to make a mistake, just as he's doing right now. He's looking to the sidelines for the correct call. Then he jumps into the huddle. Now he's calling a timeout.
He also took extra time at the line when he decided to audibilize. Maybe he was changing the play. Maybe it was a bluff. We're going to take a break right here with 4:13 left to go in this dynamite 4A title game between these two great football powers, Oaklawn, Richards, and Morris. We're tied at 6, and we still